August 23rd, 1903. Today is the big day. I am leaving my home in Romania for America. I am at the port in Albania, waiting to board the Krevchenko, the ship that will take me to America. It will be a 19-day trip from the Albanian coast through the Mediterranean and across the Atlantic Ocean. I have heard that the weather can be rough while crossing, but I pray for good weather and a smooth trip. I hope to find work and a better life in America. Anything to get me out of the poor economy in Romania.
September 3rd, 1903, 11 days into the trip. The weather has not been as good as I had hoped. With all the rain, I have been cooped up in my third-class cabin for about 6 of the 11 days. Hopefully, the weather clears so I can see the New York City skyline when I get there. I worry that I will not fit in the new culture in New York City, but hopefully I can find a job quickly. September 10th, 1903. We have finally reached New York City. As I had hoped, the weather cleared, and I had a spectacular view of the city as we entered the harbor. We were brought to Ellis Island. This is the central hub where all new immigrants from Europe are brought to be processed and admitted into the country. We were shuffled off the ship and sent separate ways based on the language that we spoke.
Being that there were only about a dozen people that spoke Romanian, my wait was short.
I went to the designated desk and got an interview questionnaire to complete. The questions were straightforward, and I finished it quickly. The questions were to the extent of name, age, occupation, how much money we had, if we had any relatives in the U.S., and if we had any disabilities. After the interview questions, each person underwent a brief medical examination to ensure that they were healthy and did not bring any diseases into the U.S. I made it through, but others were not so lucky and were deemed unfit to enter. They were to be sent home in the next boat to Europe. I was given a card with a stamp of approval to enter the country. I then boarded a ferry to make the few hundred-yard trip to the mainland and into New York City. September 10th, 1903, in New York City. I was in awe of New York City. The buildings were so much taller than anything I had ever seen before. There were excellent views in all directions. I could see Ellis Island, where I had come from, and the Statue of Liberty standing majestically in the bay, and across the Hudson River into New Jersey. I knew I would need to find an apartment by nightfall, so I found a newspaper and checked for apartment listings. I had a decent sum of money, so I decided to worry about finding a job later that week. I found an apartment listing in Hoboken, New Jersey, so I immediately hopped on a bus bound for there to check out the apartment. September 10th, 1903, in Hoboken. I decided to go ahead and rent the apartment that I found. I have $28 to my name, and at $20 a month, I can afford the first month's rent right off the bat. The apartment has running water and electricity, but there are no light bulbs. This is no problem. I will suffice with the candlelight until I get a job and fully furnish the apartment. If all goes well, I might be able to land a job within the next few days. I saw a wanted ad in the newspaper about an opening for a glassblower at the nearby light bulb factory. Hopefully my glassblowing skills are right on par with what they need. September 12th, 1903. Today was a successful day. I got a job as a glassblower at the light bulb factory. My shifts are 10 hours a day, 6 days a week, far better than the assembly line workers who work either 12 hours a day for 6 days or 10 hours a day for 7 days a week. My pay is also better. I earn $9 a week as opposed to their $7 a week, regardless of their shift choices. At this pay, I will be able to afford my rent and have some money left over to save and spend on things from a new apartment. October 14th, 1903. My first month in America has been good so far. My job has been stable, and my boss is becoming a good friend of mine. I saved a bunch of money out of my first few weeks' pay, and now I am going to celebrate by buying some nicer furniture for my apartment. My expectations of America have been fulfilled. I have a stable job, a place to live, and above all, I am happy to be here. I know that other immigrants have had more trouble getting their lives straightened out, and I pray that it will get better for them.